I'm sorry. I just know that wasn't my son that did that. I don't know why he did that. I'm sorry.
An attack at the University of Texas that grabbed the nation's attention. Distraught parents of the student accused of carrying it out tell KVUE what they think happened to their son.
And new video captures a campus gripped with fear, desperately waiting for police to arrive.
How blessed I am to be his mom. And once he got through this, we were going to celebrate at SeaWorld.
Plus, they'll never get to take the trip, but after a young boy's death in Round Rock, the statewide effort to honor his memory.
And kids share their unfiltered, raw fears to help parents understand what it's like to be a teen in a new generation. The Nightbeat starts now.
He was just eerily calm, so I almost didn't realize it was an attack happening.
It's been just over a week since a UT student stabbed 4 people in broad daylight, killing a freshman at the school.
Tonight, the suspect's parents talked exclusively to KVUE News and the Austin American-Statesman.
Tony Plahetsky is in our studio now with their story. Tony?
Well, Mike and Quita, Kenneth and Shantina White are devastated. Their hearts broken for their son, who they believe had a mental breakdown the day he stabbed 4 UT students, killing one of them. But they are also heartbroken for the victims, especially the family of 19-year-old Harrison Brown. Tonight, they open up, offering condolences and asking for forgiveness for their son and pinpointing what may have happened to him. He is a grief-stricken father trying to understand. Trying to understand how his son, Kendrix White, went from being a high school scholar in Killeen to this. Arrested in a stabbing attack at UT 9 days ago.
We did not see this coming at all. We monitored him, we came to visit, we called, we did everything that we thought was possible. You know, I don't know if we missed something or I don't have an excuse for it.
The Whites, who were both in the military, trace a change in their son to this intersection near the UT campus. On April 4th, he had a crash that led to his DWI arrest. At the time, White told police he was taking what he described as happy pills. Their son, the Whites say, was never the same again.
Just wasn't himself. You know, you asked him a question and the answer was just erratic. There was no reasoning to his answer.
They took their son to the ER. That led to his involuntary commitment in a psychiatric ward and numerous neurological tests.
3 patients that have been stabbed.
On the day of the attack, the Whites got a phone call from an attorney representing Kendrix on that DWI charge. The lawyer said she was looking at photos of the arrest happening on the UT campus, and it looks like your son.
That's when it just all started feeling like a nightmare. You know, it's like, this is a bad dream. This is not happening.
I don't even know how to put it into words. This is not the child that we know.
Tonight, Shantina White has apologies.
We're so sorry. We're so sorry. We didn't see this coming a mile away. We're so sorry.
And advice for all parents.
Pay attention to your children. If something don't feel right, something don't seem right, pay attention.
Now, the Whites tell me that their son was never officially diagnosed after an array of tests, but Mike and Quita, they helped get their son back to UT in April and were staying in touch with him until, of course, they got that awful phone call.
Heartbreaking story all around.
All around.
Exactly. Certainly this is about the victims, but you do have to feel for those parents as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And regarding Kendrix White, he is still in the Travis County Jail tonight. The 21-year-old has been formally charged with murder and is held on a $1 million bond. According to arrest documents, White told the police he did not remember what happened that afternoon.
Now, new video never seen before of the attack at UT and the man who helped police take down the accused killer. The Nightbeat's Jason Puckett has that story.
This video taken right after Kendrix White stabbed 4 students on UT's campus.
I've got the subject on the ground at Chester.
You can hear the UTPD officer tell White to drop the knife, a large Bowie-style weapon. The man behind the camera then goes inside to see White on the ground getting cuffed.
He didn't have a facial expression, like he was emotionless. He didn't seem like he was sorry for what he had done. He seemed like he was something normal. Like,
Let me see your other hand, put it straight out in front of you.
Yakov Leva was working at a food truck just feet away.
Truck is that? I didn't think it was real because he went in way too easy, like butter. Like he just went in effortless. It didn't sink in until he removed his hand and I saw the blood coming out.
Leva didn't run or hide. Instead, he locked onto the man with the knife, Kendricks White.
Everything else didn't matter. I just saw him walking towards more innocent people, you know, that had no idea what was going on.
He started running after White, yelling at anyone nearby to get out of the way.
Even the way that he was like walking with like swag, like he had this little lean going on, and it bugged me so much, like seeing him walk away so calmly.
Leva says White attempted to stab at least one more person, while Leva and a coworker alerted police to White's location and that he was armed. And that...
we caught him right at the door.
Led to this.
Do not move or you will be tased.
He's opening the door, right? And then the cop tells him to show his hand. He looks back.
The officer was able to overpower White and get him to drop the knife, which Leva then stood on to keep out of the way. Once White was arrested and as his adrenaline wore off, Leva returned to help the stabbing victims.
I mean, I did what I felt like anybody else would have done. You know, I wish I could have done more.
He says he can't get the stabbings out of his head, but there's no question he kept more from happening.
I asked this guy, I'm like, what did you see, you know? He's like, well, I was just coming out of this building, and I saw some dude yelling, like, go away, get away, there's a stabbing, somebody just got stabbed, run, run. And I just, you know, he ran back inside. And then he looked at me, he's like, I think it was you, you know? He said that, and I was like, you know, that's when it clicked in. I'm like, you know, like, it did work.
Jason Puckett, KVUE News, Nightbeat.
Freshman UT student Harrison Brown died in that attack. According to court documents, White stabbed Brown in the chest. 3 other students were injured. They have all been released from the hospital.
Shifting gears to weather, we're in the 70s tonight with an overcast sky, increasing moisture out ahead of some shower chances overnight and even a few thunderstorms for tomorrow. Pretty quiet scan on Max Storm Doppler radar right now. Just off towards the west of us, though, near Del Rio, near Uvalde, some strong to even severe thunderstorms producing some hail. Models have that activity weakening as it gets a little bit closer to the I-35 corridor. Numerous tornadoes reported today near the Panhandle and along the Red River in southwestern areas of Oklahoma. And at this point, we believe the greatest threat of severe weather will remain to the north of us. So passing shower tonight, a thunderstorm possible tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then some drier air lowering the humidity just in time for Friday and the weekend. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thanks, Albert. New at 10, we want to tell you a story about a little boy. His life was brief, but it impacted everyone he met. And now his legacy could become known all across the state after inspiring a Texas lawmaker. The Nightbeat's Chris Betts joins us to explain. Chris?
Well, Quita, it's nicknamed Brock's Bill after this little boy in Round Rock. Central Texas Representative Larry Gonzalez filed the bill to officially designate May 17th as Diffuse Intrinsic Pontogliomas Day, or DIPG, after Brock passed away from that rare inoperable brain disease in December.
Then he wrote his name.
There are pieces of him
It shows our love.
everywhere.
We used to do Eskimo kisses.
A bright-eyed, brown-haired boy
He couldn't be 5 minutes without me.
named Brock.
Oh, cutie pie. See how he's leaning on me? Yes. This is his room.
His room is a special place in the Flemings' Round Rock home.
For now, I want it how it is.
Not because it's filled with superhero stuff, animals,
He knew everything about them.
pictures of fast cars, and burnt orange.
I went to UT, and my brothers did too, so he wanted the UT.
These are things you can find in all young boys' rooms. But in the corner,
This is all Christmas presents that he had picked out. He just never got to play with.
he never got to play with. That's because last year, 7-year-old Brock Fleming was diagnosed with cancer.
To have your kid look at you and expect you to fix this and to tell them there's nothing. And so that's when his spirit started to go down.
Like the superheroes on his wall, Brock fought his cancer with superhero strength. He battled for 7 months, and boy, did he battle.
I mean, his breathing was very strained. His blood pressure was really high. His heartbeat was off the roof.
Then, in December,
That I heard a breath and then I didn't hear a breath, that I had to get through it.
Brock's body couldn't fight.
And I don't think mentally I was ready to know that he was gone
Anymore.
And then that's when James said he had passed.
Brock died from a type of brain cancer called diffuse intrinsic pontine gliomas, or DIPG.
And I didn't even know that was possible, honestly, for a little kid to get brain cancer.
Now Brock's mom and dad are fighting to bring awareness about these 4 letters.
A lot of the medical field, they don't even know what DIPG is.
So no one else has to close the door to their child's room forever.
House Bill 2986 was voted out of committee last week, so next it will go to the House and then the Senate. There is a fundraiser for Team Brock. That's this Friday at the Avery Ranch Golf Club. And to find out how you can get involved, just click on this story on KVUE.com. Mike, Quita.
Oh, Chris, thank you so much. I can't even think about it. Thank you. Well, coming up, a raw, emotional look at how teenagers are feeling today.
You're not thin enough, you're not thick enough, you're not this enough. And I feel like those are amplified in high school, and it really sucks.
A group of teenagers shares their video diaries, raw accounts of the fears that teens just like yours face every day.
Breezy, muggy, and warm this evening. Temperatures are in the mid to even upper 70s still across the area. Highs today, cooling at least a little bit in the 70s after highs in the 80s just below average. We'll talk thunderstorm chances for tomorrow next.
If you have a teenager, chances are right now they're in their room with the door closed.
That's right. Don't you wish that you knew what they were thinking, what they're worried about?
Well, tonight we open that door with our continuing series, If My Parents Only Knew. It's an eye-opening look at the stresses and fears teenagers feel, but rarely talk to their parents about.
I'm personally just scared of what, my future holds. Every time at a family gathering, have you decided where you're gonna go to college yet?
You're on your own. For the first time, you are legitimately on your own.
I don't actually have any idea what I want to do with my life. As you can hear, I'm very afraid.
So the biggest fear that I have in life is honestly the feeling of being left out by my friends.
You're not thin enough, you're not thick enough, you're not this enough. And I feel like those are amplified in high school, and it really sucks.
The youngster might have problems sleeping, irritation, their diet changes. A parent might say, well, that defines a regular teenager. But if you start to see these reactions going on for at least 2 weeks or longer, that's when you might need to get some help.
Every time I do say something, it goes through one ear and right out the other.
I don't want to tell them, hey, I'm feeling depressed, I have really bad anxiety right now, because they may feel like, well, what am I doing wrong?
But you should never worry about it making me feel bad. If it's something I can help you with, I want to do that.
The pressure to perform. Whew. Forget sleep, forget having a social life. I constantly find myself working and overextending myself.
The expectations are so high that when you jump for that, you're afraid you're gonna fall.
For me, I'm sorry about the pressure, but I'm gonna always be proud of you no matter what you do. Because you're my kid, that's enough. I'll always love you because you're mine.
I'm the father of 2 teenagers myself, and that it really takes talent and a certain amount of finesse to be able to talk to them and not make them, shut you down, so you can understand that. Well, our conversation continues online. An expert weighs in on how to talk to your teenager so that you can spot the signs of depression and where to go for help.
Just go to KVUE.com and look for the section, If My Parents Only Knew.
All right, another warm, muggy evening. We've got some rain chances to tell you about, but not big chances. We're talking about some scattered showers for the morning commute, a couple of isolated thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Right now, there's some thunderstorms to the northwest of the area, around Abilene, and to the southwest of the area. Severe thunderstorm, as a matter of fact, near Uvalde, but that thunderstorm is weakening as it continues to move eastward. The reason for this pretty unsettled weather pattern over parts of the state of Texas, upper level low spinning over Albuquerque. Now, for the most part, this low is going to stay well to the north of us, and that's why tonight the best chance of a stronger severe storm will remain to the west and north of us. And even tomorrow, as it passes to the north of us, the best chance of severe weather really from Waco into the Arklatex. We're just kind of on the tail end of the system. Now, the brand new high resolution hour by hour forecast wants to sneak in maybe a thunderstorm in the far western hill country, maybe just after midnight. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. But watch as the activity gets a little bit closer to Austin, it fades away. So a couple of showers tomorrow morning. Nothing severe. And then as we head into the afternoon and evening time, we'll see the development of some isolated thunderstorms. Nothing widespread, but isolated. And the new model is even showing by 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, even some isolated strong thunderstorms possible for tomorrow in the mid-evening. As we head into Friday, before sunrise, the same system that may allow for a couple of showers and storms tomorrow will drag a front through the region. This isn't going to push in cool air, but what it will do, it's going to lower the humidity, and that north wind on Friday afternoon is going to feel a lot better than the last couple of afternoons with this oppressive air mass. So tonight, a 20% chance of rain in Austin. If you're in the hill country, a rogue thunderstorm will be possible overnight. 70 degrees in the city. Couple of showers in the morning, thunderstorm chance later part of the day, afternoon, evening time at 30%, 83 degrees for the high temperature. Under the microscope, grass pollen elevated in the median count today and again for tomorrow. Also today and for tomorrow, molds in the high count. Your allergy forecast from the KVUE Storm Team found every day in the Statesman. Well, earlier this evening during the 6 o'clock newscast, I was telling Quita and Mike that we have a full moon tonight. Kind of hard to see with the thick clouds around, but this is the full flower moon. The flower nickname because much of the United States, this is kind of the peak of when all the flowers are blooming. Isolated storm possible tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Could be on the strong side, so we're going to keep an eye on that, but no widespread severe weather expected. Clearing skies, lower humidity by Friday. It's going to be a warm weekend, but with less humidity, it's going to feel comfortable. Sunny and 85 on Saturday. Sunday, near 90 for Mother's Day. So
yeah, take Mom to the pool.
I was going to say that. Take Mom to the pool. Somewhere cool, I think.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Albert.
Thanks, Albert.
Hey, we've had a lot of heavy news in this newscast tonight for sure, but let's turn it around a little bit. Austin gains another award. This is good news. Why Forbes is hailing the city's government as one of the best employers in the nation.
And Austin firefighters to the rescue, how they saved a tiny kitten from certain death.
Tonight, the city of Austin has some major bragging rights. Austin came in at number 9 for Forbes' Best Employers list. It was the only city government to make the top 10 list and one of only 3 city governments to make the list at all. HEB also made the list, coming in at number 41. Costco came in at number 1. Well, this story isn't exactly about firefighters rescuing a kitten from a tree, but it comes pretty close. The Austin Fire Department rescued a kitten trapped on the side of 183 near Breaker Lane. If you aren't familiar with that area, cars are flying by at 75 miles an hour around there. Luckily, though, the kitten just has a beat-up nose that will heal. Someone is fostering her until she's old enough to be spayed.
Oh, I'm glad they got that kitten out of there.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, what you got tonight? Talking about the Spurs?
Talking about the Spurs. Can they get one more win? That's all they need, but will the Spurs have their star back for game number 6? And it's like father, like son for a Round Rock Dragon. And KVUE returns.